Hi everyone, it's Dawn. I'm a couple of minutes early, but I just want to make sure I've got everything in place. I'm going to leave it with my hand showing tonight so that I know I've got everything set up correctly, and I am looking at getting another system that will help doing these videos. So hopefully I'll have that in the next week or so. All right, so I'm going to make sure I've got everything ready so we can see. I need to adjust my camera a little bit. It looks like from what I can see on my iPad. I won't be able to see y'all's comments, so if you leave some, which is fine, I wish you would, then I will respond to them after the video is over. And don't forget to like and share my page if you will. I'm trying to make sure I am in the picture. I want to make sure that everything I'm doing, and I had it set up earlier, and I think I've got my phone set up. Let me move it back a little bit because I think I've had it set a little bit too close, and I think we'll be ready to roll here in a minute. All right, let's see. Have you all had a chance to look at the wonderful holiday catalog? I have drooled over that thing for the last month or so. Bear with me. I just want to make sure I get the camera. Let me move it up a little bit in here so that we can get all of the card making. I'm trying to look at my iPad, so I don't need all that mess in there. So let's bring this back up a little bit. All right. We'll start here in about a minute or so. It's about 2 minutes to 7, so we've got time for people to pop on. And for whatever reason, my stamp is not showing all the way. So I'm going to play with this for just a minute. If my hands get in the way, I apologize. I'm going to try to tilt my camera up. Give me just a second. I'm going to lift the arm up and try to adjust him. See which way he's going. All right, we're getting there. There's a little bit of a delay in the feed going to the iPad, so it takes me a minute. I don't want all that, so I need to come back up here. All right, give me a second. Once I get it straight, then I can tighten this up. Come on. I think we might be set. I know I had it to where I had the arms set just enough to get everything in the camera. So we'll give that a minute and see how that's going. All right. Okay. I'm going to move this down. Make sure I'm in the camera because I don't want y'all to miss out on anything that we're making. So just bear with me a second. Get this part in here. You know, you have it set up, and then you take your phone off the stand so that you can talk on it and use it. So hopefully that I think we've got it in the camera. Okay, so wrapped in Plaid Suite, and that's what we're going to be looking at this evening. And we'll start at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to wait another minute, 30 seconds or so, so we make sure we get other people popping on. And I'm hoping that my screen, I'm assuming y'all are seeing everything as well. My dog has decided that she has to go out to the bathroom, even though I just took her out a minute ago. It's her 7 o'clock is her walk around the neighborhood to see if anybody's out there waiting to see her. At least she thinks that. So anyways, all right. Well, I think it's 7:01, so we'll go ahead and get started. For those that are here, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Please make sure that you comment and share my page. The more visitors I receive, the better it is for my rankings. And also, I have a YouTube channel that's set up at Shall We Stamp as well. So if you haven't had a chance to visit that, please go in and subscribe to that as well, so you'll stay up to date on videos that I post throughout the week. I'm doing better, so I'm really trying hard to stick to my schedule. All right, so tonight we're going to work with the Perfectly Plaid stamp set that's in the holiday catalog. I hope y'all have had a chance to look at the catalog and drool over it. I want to say this is probably one of the better catalogs that I've seen in quite a few years, and I am absolutely in love with the paper. And now that we have that paper special, buy 3 get 1 free, is a great time to take advantage of getting some of that designer series paper, because the pictures, I'm telling you, do not do it justice. So, all right, we are going to work with Perfectly Plaid. It's a photopolymer stamp set, which are the ones that are clear and you can see through it. And then this is the pine tree. They call it the pine tree punch. And we're going to, the first item that we're going to make, and I'm going to show you, we're going to make a little tag for a package. This is a cute little 2 by 4 inch, I want to say, well, it's a little less than 2 because we're using the scallop punch. But we're going to make this tag. We're going to use the circle framelits dies, the stitch framelits, which are these. I'm going to tell you, if you all do not have these stitch shape dies, you definitely need to get these. I don't use the squares as much as I probably should, but I use the circles and the ovals all the time. So if you've not, I'd highly recommend purchasing a set, because this is something that you're going to use, I think, a lot of the times on your cards. So we're going to be working with that, and I'm going to punch out 2 pieces of the plaid cardstock, and then we're going to stamp in navy blue and tie a jingle bell on it using our linen threads. So let me move this out of the way. I've already got the stamps and everything mounted, so that's what we're going to make. And I went ahead and punched out, or ran the red circle through the Big Shot. So that's already done. And my thing's over here. I was looking for my punch. Okay, the tag topper punch is this right here, and I'm sure y'all have seen this before. It's been around for quite some time. My Whisper White piece of cardstock is 2 inches by, well, this one's a little bit longer. I want to say it's probably by maybe 3.5 or 4 inches. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this in here and push it all the way to the end and just punch that out. And that's what we're going to use for our tag. All right, so let me move my scraps out of the way here. And then we're going to make 2 cards when we get done. I'll show you those in just a minute as well. All right, so I'm using a piece of the new, one of the Wrapped in Plaid Designer Series paper that's in this suite. And we're going to use this green. It's got gold lines through it. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but this is really, really pretty. And then the back side is like a cherry cobbler with white dots. But to me, this plaid just, screams Christmas. So we're going to go ahead and punch out 2 of the trees using the punch. And I should be able to hopefully get 2 out of this sheet of paper. So I'm just going to put my punch in there and punch. And it's such an easy punch. Some of the other ones I have are a little bit harder. And the older you get, I'm going to turn this around so I have a little bit more room. The older you get, you start to feel it when you try punching stuff out. So anyways, all right, so that's all we're going to use the punch for on this particular card. Tag. All right, so what I'm going to do, you can score this if you like, which I did initially, but I don't have the scoring thing here, so I'm not going to mess with that. So all I'm going to do is just fold the tree up a little bit, because I want it to kind of stand off the paper. So I'm just going to kind of give it a little a bend in it. And then the one that's going to lay flat, I'm going to have that one popped up just a little bit as well, so that we can get, make it look like it's, they're both kind of popped up. Okay, so I'm going to take my adhesive, my snail, and you can use glue dots for this, but I'm just going to use my snail. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, now let me go ahead and attach my circle on here. So I'm going to put that, and then we'll do the sentiment last, because we'll be able to get that stamped on there. Hopefully we'll be able to get it right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back of my tree, just down that line where I did the fold. And just place it right here on the circle. And I'm just going to push down a little bit. And then you can always bring the edges up, because I just have it on the fold line. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Let me move this one out of the way. And so I can get in here so that y'all can see. Not that you don't know how to put adhesive, but again, I'm just going to run the adhesive right down the line right there and give it a little bit of a fold. And then I'm going to just attach it to the top of this one. Pretty easy. And this is an easy tag, and you can also actually use this design and make it into a card. So I'm going to just kind of bring these up a little bit. All right, there we go with that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to stamp our sentiment, which is the North Pole, and I'm using the Night of Navy marker. And the reason I'm doing that is if you look at in the stamp set, it's got these little doody daddy things right there. Well, these are too wide for the tag, so I'm just going to use my marker and color in the North Pole, leave out these little curly Q things. All right, so that's the nice thing about your markers, is you can use them if you don't have that particular color ink, or if you're traveling, it makes it a lot easier to get your coloring done. And also, like I mentioned before, when I first started, I bought the markers because I wanted to have all the colors, and this is a way that you can do that and not have to go to the expense of buying all of the ink pads at one time. All right, so then that's done. So I'm going to huff on that, and now here goes the test. Let me get some paper and put underneath. Hang on, I had a scrap. Here it is. I want to get my paper on my thing. Here we go. We're going to stamp upside down. Let's see how that goes. All right, so hopefully we'll get it straight. So I'm going to push that right about there. Hopefully it's even. If not, whoever gets this tag will notice that. All right, not too bad. I got a little bit of a line in it, but I'm not going to worry about it. I don't think anybody's going to notice that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach our jingle bell. And I went ahead and tied it, just fed the linen thread through the bell, and these are in this suite as well. And I'm going to feed this through the hole of the scallop and tie this. And I know this is a lot of excess string, but I want to make sure I had enough. So I'm going to just tie this through. Whoops, it helps if I get the bell on the right side, doesn't it? Got to make sure. And I'll have to show you in the one of the cards. You'll see my little mess up where I made a little boo boo. I tell you, sometimes you think you're doing it right, and I have one right and one's not. So you'll see when I'll point it out to you, and you'll see. So I had to change the thing. I'm going to turn this around so I can tie this bow, guys. So this is a quick and easy little tag that you can make. I mean, it really is. So I'm just going to tie my bow and get it straight, and then cut off my thread here when I get it down, because that's too big of a bow. So let's just hold the knot and pull in our threads and get that to where we want it. Make it a little bit bigger so it looks pretty. All right, and let's get, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim off my tails. And if y'all haven't, I mean, obviously you can't miss this set because it's right in the front of the catalog. So let me go ahead and trim off my, trim off the tails here. I get them all too long, so let's just snip them. All right, so there's our tag. Isn't that cute? Now I can adjust the bow because I think those, these loops are a little bit too big for me, but it's okay. We'll leave it like that. So there you go. You just push this up here, and there is a, I think there is in this case, if I'm not mistaken. No, there's not. There's not in this one. But you can just write on the back of this of who it goes to, and then set this on the package, and then just kind of bring up your trees a little bit. Isn't that cute? Quick and easy way to make a tag for the holidays. There you go. And you can put whatever color, green, red, or gold jingle bell. So there's that. That's our first project. Now, if you place an order with me by the 16th of the month and use my hostess code that I have listed here somewhere, if you can see it, I'll show it to you at the end. I'll send you all of these project kits for free. Okay? All right, now the next one we're going to move on to is we're going to make a, let me move some of my stuff out of the way so I can get to this one. And we're going to work with our pretty peacock. And this one we're going to do like a monotone. we're going to use the Pretty Peacock cardstock, and this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 5 1/4. Okay, and then we're going to use a piece of the DSP from the In Colors, and that's 2 inches by 5.5. I'm going to pull out my stuff while I'm talking to you. And then we are going to use our the oval framelit. So I've already cut this out on the Big Shot. So I told you how we love those things. And then we're going to use a tag. So we're going to stamp the Merry Christmas on there. And then we're going to stamp these 3 trees on some scrap paper. And we're going to punch those out with our tree. Now I'll put the measurements up in the morning. I'll get those typed up this evening. But this 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. This is the largest oval stitch shape framelit. This is 1 inch by, I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 inches. And the DSP is 2.5 by 5, and I'm sorry, 2 inches by 5.5. Okay. All right. So we're going to fold our cardstock. I didn't score this one, which I normally do, but that's okay. I'm going to move this out of the way. Oh, and on the inside, I stamped a tree for the inside of the card. I like to kind of do a little decoration for the inside as well. All right. Okay, so fold our cardstock in half. Normally I do score it, but I didn't this evening. So I just fold it in half, take my bone folder, make sure you get a good burnish to the edges. And one thing I will, when we get to it, I'll show you there's one stamp that I'm using from another set. And I'll show you why and what you can do to replace that. All right, so here is our card base. Now I'm gonna put some adhesive. Now this is the 6 inches, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay it on here, and then I'll just trim it off. It's just a little bit easier, I think. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me get my marker out of the way because I don't need him anymore. And we'll go ahead and put adhesive on our piece of DSP. I tell you, this Pretty Peacock reminds me a lot of Tranquil Tide. And that was one of my favorite colors. So I'm just going to put this on here kind of towards the bottom and lay it on there. Hopefully that's straight. And then I'm just going to take my paper snips. I know they're here because I brought them. So I was very organized, and now I don't see my paper snips. God. And I have my ribbon scissors here, but I'm not using those. So give me 1 second. Let me find my scissors. I cannot believe this. I was being so good about being organized and having all of my stuff here ready. And let me go get my scissors. Well, they're here somewhere. I gotta find them. I might have to, let me grab up my other pair that's not ribbon scissors. Okay. My paper snips are here hiding, but rather than hold everybody up, I'm going to use my ones that are not for ribbon. So I'm just going to go ahead and just trim this off right along the edge. All right, so we'll get rid of that. Put him in the trash can. Okay, so we have our paper down. No, I think they're hiding from me on purpose. Okay, now we're going to take our piece of Whisper White. Right here, move this out of the way. And we are going to stamp in our Pretty Peacock ink the trees. And we're going to start with, this one is really cute, and it's got plaid in it. And I swear, it looks like there's a window looking through this tree. I'm just going to stamp these on here because we're going to punch these out. But look at this, and I'm going to put it, let me push it on here. Let it sit. I always let it sit for about, I don't know, 30, oops, look at that. I got ink on my hands. About 30 seconds or so to make sure that the ink, but look at that. Can you see that? Isn't that pretty? You can see that, like, it's like a window going through the trees. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm gonna stamp the other ones on the back since I've got ink on it. I might have enough room. Let me see. All right, so now we're gonna do this other tree. Let me take this one off because let me move this one right out of the way. All right, so now we're gonna do this one. And they're all going to be in the Pretty Peacock ink. And we're going to, I'm going to put him over here since I've got some ink there. And I'm going to put him up a little bit because there's a stem we have. So I'm going to stamp this one right here. All right. And then we have a stem, this little tiny thing right there. We're going to, I guess it's his tree trunk. So let me make sure I get it on there. And then that will punch out. Okay, look at that. Isn't that clever? All right, let me wipe these off real quick. And then the next one we're going to do is a 2-step stamp. And that is, let me just show you. This is the 2-step. You can leave it like that, but this adds more leaves to the tree. It kind of fills it out. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and stamp. I should be able to get all of these on this right here. All right, so I'm going to, yeah, I should be able to get that on here. So we're going to stamp this one here. Whoops. And then we're going to come back with the leaves, and we're going to, I'm using one of those paper pumpkin, one of the small blocks. So hopefully I can see upside down. Let me move this over a little bit. And we're just going to line him up and push it down and see how it fills out our branches. Isn't that clever? I just love that. So, all right, so those are the trees. Let me put them over here and get them out of the way. All right, now we're going to punch these guys out. Let me close up my ink. Well, actually, while I have my ink open, let me go ahead and stamp before we move the happy birthday. So first of all, I'm going to cut this into a banner. So let me just make a little snip here. And believe me, I am not used to using these big honking scissors. These are only, I use these only for ribbon. Not this set. This is my, for whatever, but I'm used to using my little paper snip so I can get a better cut, but that's okay. All right, well, that's going to work. Okay, so now we're going to stamp our Merry Christmas. And again, everything is in Pretty Peacock. So we will stamp him. Let me move this down here. And we'll stamp that right on the banner. And I'm going to try to get it close to that edge so that I can tuck it under. So we're going to set that down there. All right. And pull that off. All right. Very good. Perfect. Okie doke. Now, let me close up my ink so I don't get myself all inky. I will use that one more time, but I'll show you that in just a minute. All right. Let me go ahead and I'm going to attach the oval, the stitch shaped oval with dimensionals. So we're going to put 4 dimensionals on the back because we want this thing to be popped up. So pop them on there. And we're just going to place the trees on top of this oval. So let me go ahead and lift these off and get these out of the way. These are easy, really easy cards. And if you're going to be doing multiple, doing a lot of mass producing your cards, this is a great way of doing that because they're so easy. All right, so I'm just going to set the oval right here. All right, so we've got him there popped up. Now let's get our tree punch out, the pine tree. And I'm going to do this so I can see. I'm going to reach in here with my punch and line it up. And you're going to have a little bit of a white border on the trees, and that's okay. I think that looks good. So we're going to pop that one out. Then I'm going to come over to this one. I really like this. I think this looks like, does this look like a spruce tree to you all? I think it does to me. And I don't know much about trees, but I think it looks like a spruce. All right, so we're going to pop that one out. And then the last one we're going to do, which I didn't leave myself much room on that side, did I? We're going to punch this one out too. And I think that's pretty good. All right, so let's punch that one out. Okay, perfect. Move that out of the way. All right, so we are now going to get our trees together and put some adhesive on them. So I'm just going to use my snail and come up here so y'all can see me. Just going to put a little bit of snail because I don't think it's going to take a lot to get this on here. I'm going to place this guy, I'll probably put him right about there. And then I'm going to put the one that has the white, more of the white. I'm going to place him in the center. And I'm going to put this one up. I think I'm going to bring him down just a tad. So it's a little bit, so it doesn't look like it's quite. And then this one, we'll go ahead and attach that one. We'll bring him up just a little bit as well. It's got a little bit of white on it, but I think it will blend in with the oval. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is, since this is popped up, I'm just going to put snail on our banner, and I'm just going to slide that under. And you can put this however you want. You can have it going out straight. You can have it at an angle. It really is up to what you want to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put it up a little bit, only because my tag looks like it's going to hang off the side. I should move this over a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just going to lay it right here. I think that'll look fine. All right, there we go. There is our second card. Isn't that quick and easy? I tell you. Now, I didn't bring it in. Oh, there's one thing we have to do. And I did show that I stamped the inside of the card. I didn't bring the white piece, but I always try to decorate the inside of the card and the envelopes. It just gives something different. All right, this is what I want to show you that I'm going to do. These are snowflakes, and that is from the snowman season. I forgot to order the snowflake, the little snowflakes that you can buy, the embellishments, and I forgot to order those. So since I didn't have them and I didn't have anything that looked like snowflakes, I thought I will just borrow these from the snowman season and just put a little flaky stuff on here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to randomly stamp, again, in the same color, and trying to make it look like it's, you know, not in any kind of order. And just, you know, try to get it to look like there's some snowflakes coming down. I'm doing it a little bit too fast, so I'm... Have y'all ever tried to stamp upside down? If you haven't, you should really give it a try. It will test you. All right, let's see. Now look at that. I've got ink all over my fingers. I'll tell you what, me and the ink. All right, that's all I'm going to do. Okay, there's our card. I think that is cute. And I did bring some baby wipes. I have to tell you the story about these baby wipes. A couple of years ago, I had asked my husband, when he went to Sam's, to get me some baby wipes. And this is a package that we get. He gets them at Sam's, and he comes home with this humongous box that had 1,000 baby wipes. I think there's 10 packs and there's 100 in a pack. I thought, oh my God, we'll never use those things. We went through those, that entire 1,000 box of baby wipes in about 8 months in my classes. I live in an over 50, not to say that it's the seniors, but I live in an over 55 community, and I swear every time we turn around, everybody is squashing their ink pad, getting the stamps all gunky, and we go through more baby wipes than I can shake a stick at. And it's the funniest thing. We laugh about it now because I'm constantly buying baby wipes so that we can keep our fingers from getting inked up all over. Anyways, all right, so that's our second card. My snowflakes don't look as randomly done as I liked on this one, but again, I think it's a cute card. It's, you know, a monochromatic card. So that's our second card. All right, and then the next one, and I think this one is really clever, and I copied this from somebody off of Pinterest, and I don't remember who it was, to be honest with you. There's so much you can find on Pinterest. It's just unbelievable. But this is the card. Now, this is the one that I have to tell you, when you have, this is what we're going to make, but it's going to be a different, it's going to go horizontal instead of vertical. When you have a pattern paper, make sure you're cutting it in the direction that you want it to go when you put your card together. Well, I did. So on the card, I wanted it to go this way. So I cut both pieces together, not realizing that the one underneath, I had it like this. So my reindeer, I went to put it together, and see the reindeer? They're going this way. So when I cut the two pieces together, and I went to put it on my card, and I thought, oh my God, my reindeer are upside down. So my reindeer were sideways. So I turned it this way. And all we're going to do, and again, this is such an easy card. We're going to take the designer paper, put it on a piece of cherry cobbler, take your Whisper white cardstock, and you're just going to punch out the tree in the white cardstock. And then stamp your Merry Christmas, and we're going to tie some of that new diagonal striped ribbon, which is cherry cobbler as well. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love this. But it's supposed to be this way. So we're going to do, the card that we're going to do tonight is going to be horizontal. All right, so that's what we're making tonight. And again, oh, and let me show you on the inside. Since I had a scrap piece, I went ahead and attached a scrap piece to the inside of my card. All right, and I usually wait and put my sentiments towards the end. When it gets closer to the holidays, I'll probably start, when I get ready to do my cards, I'll go ahead and stamp everything. Okay, so here we go. This one I did score. So this is cherry cobbler. And again, it's 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. And my reindeer, and this is the back side of that paper. And it's just pretty. It's very similar to what we used on this one. It's just a lighter shade of green and red. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so these are reindeers that are dancing or jumping, whatever they're doing. So we're just going to place that on here. So let me put some adhesive on it. And this one I think is going to look pretty because it's going the right direction. Oops. All right. So, oops, I got to get my, yeah, let's go ahead and put this down. I think I'll wrap the ribbon around the white. Let me think about this for a second. Because we're going to do it. You know what? I think I'm going to wait. I'm not going to apply this yet. I'm going to put my ink. I want to wrap the ribbon around both the white and the deers. All right, so I'm going to lay that on my ink thing. All right, so what we're going to do is take our punch. And we're just going to, all I did, now this piece right here is, let's see, the DSP is 4 by 5 1/4, which is our typical, but this one I wanted to have more of the reindeer showing. So this one is 3 5/8 by 4 1/2. So all I'm going to do, and I know this is going to be a little bit backwards for you all, but I've got to be able to see in here. I'm just going to place this in with the cardstock right near the edge of the, and just punch out. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. All right, and then we're ready to lay this down. All right, so before we do that, we need to stamp our our Merry Christmas. So let me get that stamp back out and make sure it's clean. And we're going to stamp that in cherry cobbler. And let me get my ink over here. Do you all have problems with red ink? Do you find that every time you open red ink, you end up wearing more of it? Between this one's not so bad, but the real red, that stuff to me seems like it just runs. I mean, it runs. And when I hold my classes, we want to run from it because it's just, red is like the worst thing that we can ever get on our hands. Okay, so we're doing cherry cobbler, and I'm going to stamp. Hopefully I've got this thing straight. Let me take the reindeers out because they're throwing me off just a little bit on being if it's straight or not because they're a little crooked. All right, so I'm going to stamp my Merry Christmas right up here on this side, and we're just going to push it down. I'm going to let it sit for a minute, let that ink transfer through. And again, it's another quick and easy Christmas card that you can, you know, if you're going to mass produce, these will be pretty easy to do. All right, so we're putting that away. Now, we're going to go ahead and bring our paper back. And since that's right there, let me go ahead and put my adhesive on the white. Let me go ahead and do that. And then we're going to add our ribbon, and we're going to have that around. Okay, so let's put this, get our reindeer going in the right direction so that y'all can see this. So we've got them right. They're right. I think they look good. And we're just going to place this, and I kind of cut it to where it looks like we have like about a border of reindeer, like one row at the top and bottom, and then 2 1.5-ish on the sides. Okay, and I hope that's straight because it's a little deceiving when you're looking at, you know, animals jumping. All right, and then this is that beautiful diagonal striped cherry cobbler, and this gorgeous, oh, it's beautiful. All right, so I'm going to do a cheater bow because I just have this thing about wasting ribbon and I don't want it to wrap all the way around. Now, to tie a bow, in case you aren't aware of this, measure the width and go 3 times if you want a knot or 4 times if you want to make a bow. So what I'm going to do is I am going to place this right here. Let me glue this down, make sure I got some adhesive. I'm just going to glue one of the pieces down instead of wrapping it all the way around. And then I'm going to come back and tie a bow. So let me cut this. I know. I could have brought my bow thing over here, but I didn't. So let me go ahead and just make sure there's some good adhesive there. So I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to wrap it around. And I'm going to have a little bit of the white showing at the bottom. Actually, yeah, let's bring it up a little bit. I think that's a little bit too low. I hope you all are enjoying these. Please make sure you leave me some comments. If there's anything that you all want to see or anything you would like, techniques or anything you'd like to see or have me do, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that. And I will tell you what we're going to do next week. Okay, so I have that on there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of ribbon. And I probably could have just wrapped it around because I probably used as much as I would have used if I wrapped it all the way around, but that's okay. So I'm just going to push it underneath so I didn't put any adhesive on here. And then I'm going to go in and tie a bow. Now this might come out backwards because I'm doing it upside down. So I'm going to just make a little knot. And then one of the things that you're going to have to do with these striped ribbons is you want to make sure that when you wrap it, you want to get, let me do it this way because the bow, my ties are going to come towards, my tails are going to come towards me. So let me do it this way. I got the short end on the left side and I'm right-handed, but that's all right. So let me tighten this up just a little bit and then we can move this around. All right, so I'm going to wrap him around the bow, my loop. And then when I pull him through, I'm going to twist him on the back side so that we get the same color. See how it's coming in upside down? So I'm going to twist it. Hang on a second. I'm going to twist the ribbon. Now, if y'all have a better way of tying bows, please let me know. I am open for suggestions. Okay, let me get him on here and then I'll adjust it. All right, so let me tighten it up. And then I know this is going, what in the world are you doing? Okay. Now, see, now I got my tails going the wrong way. Go figure that one out. Let me turn it this way. All right, hang on a minute. Hold up. Let me just over, there we go. There we go. Because I'm right-handed and the bow is that way, so let's wrap this around and pull it through. And I'm going to get him twisted. There we go. All right, there we go. So now I can just play with the bow. And those of you that are experienced in making bows, I sure would like to know what you do, because there are some people that the card that I saw that they used this ribbon, I don't know if they used a bow maker or what they did, but it looked like a perfect bow that you'd find at the store. I was just so envious that I could not get my bow to look like that. So anyways, and I'm gonna fiddle with this thing, but I don't want to hold everybody up. So I'm gonna tie it the best I can, and then I will go back and play with it later, because I want to get my bow tight so it doesn't, the loop's tight so it doesn't fall. And then I'm going to pull this one down. Actually, we may just leave that one up there. So let me just tighten this one up just a little bit. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. I don't like this. My other one was much better looking, but that's all right. We'll fix it later, because I could sit here all night fighting with that thing. All right, so let me just trim up my tails, and we'll fix this one because this loop is looking a little funky. And I think my knot is not quite as tight as it should be. So I'll have to go back and play with that, because if the knot's not tight, then your bows aren't gonna lay right. And that looks pretty shabby. So let's see if we can twist it just a little bit. Twist it back around. Sorry, guys. So again, if you have suggestions on how to tie this a bow, that would be marvelous. Okay, so that does not look that good, but we'll deal with that. Now I'm going to slide it over here because it's lopsided, and I will fix this bow once we get off the Facebook Live, because I don't want, there we go. There we go. Let's see. That's looking a little bit better. All right, let me trim a tail up. He's a little bit too long. All right, I'm going to stop messing with it. You know, sometimes they say let it go. All right, and we're going to bring our card base in. Let me put that over there. And I have adhesive. Let me add a little bit more just because it's sitting here. All right, and we're just going to place that down. We're going to have a little bit of border on the cherry cobbler. There you go. There's our other Christmas card using the Wrapped in Plaid suite of products. So there you go. If you place an order of $35 between now and the 16th, please use my host code, and I will send you all of these kits. Everything is going to be punched out, and I can't do the stamping, but I can do the punching and have everything pre-cut for you. And where's our little, oh, here's our little, here we go. And our cute little packaged tag. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. And if there's anything that you need or have any questions, please let me know. And my host code, you can find it on my site at shallwestamp.com, or you can't see it in the film. But anyways, thank you so much for joining. I will respond to your comments once we get done, and then I'll have this video posted shortly. And the tutorials I'll put up first thing in the morning, and I'll attach them to the site.